Good evening, this is Leslie Asoyan with another Better Wethersfield show. Today is Wednesday, March 4th, 2015, and we have another great show tonight. Really special guests from the Home Garden Club of Wethersfield. Because there's several garden clubs in town, I didn't want to mess that up, so let me just say it again. It's the Home Garden Club of Wethersfield and some of its members, and they've got a lot to talk about, and you're going to really love this show today, and I'll tell you why. Because if you're like me, we're sick of the snow, so they're going to be talking flowers, colorful flowers, and lots of great things that they do in their club. And I'm gonna start out just by introducing them to you, and then they're gonna talk separately and tell you a little bit about how they got into the club. So right to my very right is Carol Mills. She's the co-president of the club. Next to her is Martha Bowman, and she's the co-treasurer. Next to her is Gail Clark. She's the vice president of the garden club. And next to her at the end is Mary Victoric, and she's also the co-treasurer of the Wethersfield Home Garden Club of Wethersfield.
Home Garden Club of Wethersfield.
Oh, no. The Home Garden Club of Wethersfield. It's a nonprofit too. So let me start off with you, Carol, and let's talk about the club a little bit and give us some details.
Funny thing, I had a conversation with Mother Nature this morning, and I said, we're done. We want our flowers. We want to look at our gardens. So no more. We're done with the snow.
Absolutely.
I joined in 1998. I was on the waiting list for 2 years, and all my friends were in the garden club, but none of them gardened. And here I was, I had gardens before I had lawn. And I couldn't be in the club because we had this really long waiting list. So I waited and I finally got in, and all my friends dropped out. So I made lots of new friends.
Well, you've been in it a long time.
Yeah.
That's a really long time.
Yeah,
well, no
there's only one other member who's been in longer.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's fun. I'm addicted to flowers. What can I tell you? They call me the mud mommy.
So does that mean you have a lot of fresh flowers at home?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Really? But they're so expensive. Or is that fallacy?
That's what my husband would say. No, I try to use mostly from my garden for the most part. Even in the winter, I try to use, my fresh greens and everything from the yard as opposed to buying it. Because, yes, they are expensive.
Yeah. I mean,
if you want to go out and buy fresh flowers,
yeah,
they're expensive. So that's why I grow them. That's why we grow them.
Absolutely.
So, Martha, how long have you been in the club?
Mary and I joined in 2012. We were both neighbors in Newington, and we decided we wanted to have a garden club between the two of us when Mary moved to Glastonbury. So we said, Wethersfield, it's right in the middle. So that's why we joined.
Mm-hmm.
And so what was it about gardening that you liked? Was it flowers? Is it vegetables? And
I guess you could say that Mary and I are plant collectors.
Absolutely. There's not a plant store that we can go by that we don't stop at. we have to if they're selling flowers or plants, we stop.
We stop.
Absolutely.
And the regional market, we love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
4 o'clock.
With your
Saturdays.
wagon.
With our wagons, yep, we show up
I've been there
looking
too,
for
to get shrubs.
Oh, sure.
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely.
Great
They're wonderful.
prices.
Great
prices.
Good price and really good quality plants and
Best selection.
a good selection, absolutely. And,
Yeah,
and
especially if
so
you
it's
go there
fun.
real early.
Yeah, with our flashlight, 4 o'clock in the
yeah.
morning,
And they're
with our
not
wagon
just-
and our flashlight. And
They're not there
absolutely.
just in April and May.
No.
They're there all
year.
summer.
Yeah.
Oh, they are?
They
Yes.
are. Most people aren't even aware of it,
Yeah.
but they obviously don't have as great a selection. But they still do have flowers and evergreens that you can still and trees that you can still purchase. So
Great.
yeah.
Gail, tell us.
Well, I joined in 1999. I had a love for perennials, and although I do the annuals, I try and do more with perennials because they come up every year. And it's fun watching them pop through the ground in the spring. So I love flowers. They're just fun.
I love flowers too. They're so beautiful. Although I have a tendency to have artificial flowers in my house just because I know. I'd love fresh flowers. I'd like to start a garden. I've had so many friends that say, you got to start a garden. And
I think we need to
Absolutely.
go critique her.
I think so too.
Yard.
I think so too.
I know, right?
That would be
do
fun.
We
Consulting?
will.
Do it all.
We will.
We'll do a do-over for you.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about your meetings. So they're once a month.
First Wednesday of every month, we have our meetings here in the community center. We usually have refreshments and a social time from 6:45 to 7:15, and then we start our program, which is 45 minutes to an hour. And it could be a presentation on horticulture, it could be a workshop. I think in May we're planting herb gardens. Tonight is actually garden photography, which we're missing right now.
Oh, so your meeting's tonight?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
right.
So let me ask you this. As far as like the membership, how many members do you have?
We actually have 23 members right now, and our members have different roles that they do. They could be on different committees to help keep us going. We have Sunshine Committee, we have Civic Development, we have membership, President, Vice President, Treasurer. Let's see, what else do we have? We have Horticulture, Conservation. What else do we
We
have?
have a committee that
Fundraising.
puts together the programs
Program.
each year.
And the program is for what in particular?
Well, each month it's a different program.
It has to be set up ahead of time.
We have to hire the speakers or the coordinator if it's going to be a workshop.
Okay.
Or
Is that open to the public?
if it's not a workshop, it could be open to the public. They're always open to the public if it's not a workshop. Workshops usually have a cost
Okay.
attached to them, so we can't just have
Right,
people
right.
show up.
Right.
But we're
And-
allowed to bring guests.
Okay, that's good. And it's all, generally, your meetings again are at the community center?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Most
At
of
the
them.
Pitkin Community Center. And so let's talk about your members in particular. They're not just Wethersfield residents. We were talking beforehand, and
Right.
they don't just have to be from Wethersfield.
Right. I live in Glastonbury. Martha's in
And I'm
Newington.
We have
So-
we have Rocky Hill and East Heartland. We have a gal that comes from East Heartland.
One comes from the south end of Hartford.
Yep.
We have several from Rocky Hill, actually.
So that's wonderful that, you open it to,
Yeah.
surrounding towns. And is there a capacity in terms of how many members you can have, or are you looking for new members?
Well, we're always looking for new members. Right now, like we have the 23, and we're always looking for people who are interested in gardens who would want to come and join us. They could always get a hold of us through our website. I think
Our email address.
our email address.
And Deb, Deb, our producer, just
Oh,
put up
good.
the email address.
Good.
That's how you can reach the folks at the Home Garden Club of Wethersfield through that email, and they'll get back to you right away. Would you like them to leave a phone number, or would you call them or email
Yes,
them back?
sure,
Or-
absolutely.
So it's probably a good idea.
We try
So-
to meet them and tell them a little bit about the club. Gail's actually our membership chairperson. In addition to being vice president, we have lots of roles. And she likes to go and meet with them and see what their interests might be. And
Oh, that's nice.
So they understand a little bit about our club.
Oh, that's formal.
Yes, yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
We're just trying to implement the meeting part for new members
Right, right.
ahead of them signing up and then getting in the club and not really realizing what it's about.
So essentially what you're saying is you want serious new members, people who are serious
Right.
to the commitment to gardening and to the club, and
Absolutely.
not someone who just wants to come a couple times and then whenever they can make it.
that's
kind of thing.
true.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
I'd like to stress that point just a little bit because with any club or organization, there's some responsibilities. And
yeah.
so, everybody needs to be on a committee, and all of the committees meet amongst themselves separately. And then when we come to the main meeting, you just report out what your committee
right.
has done,
Yep.
during that month. Or
Right.
like Mary and Martha handle the fundraising, so they decided that what they wanted to do, and then they come back to us and they present what we're going to do.
Okay, good.
And the funds we raise pay for our programs through the year. And then we do have some community involvement. We try to do a couple projects each year with kids.
Great.
We have children's gardening. And we do maintain here at the community center a garden, which we donated and we maintain.
Oh, fantastic. Be nice to see it now, once all the sun's gone.
It's going to be a little while.
Gail, do you want to just mention to the audience about your mission statement for the club? just to
Sure,
get that out there?
I'll read it to you. Our mission statement is, the Home Garden Club of Wethersfield is an organization of garden enthusiasts. We come together to stimulate and share our love of gardening and enrich our knowledge of horticulture, floral, and landscape design, and garden maintenance as it is impacted by our community. We challenge ourselves to become more actively involved in our community through service projects, educational programs, and social events.
Oh, that's pretty comprehensive.
Yeah, we try and bring it all together.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go in and talk about what the club does. Let's get into the nitty-gritty of the gardening. Because when you said landscaping in your mission statement, I didn't realize you did landscaping too. Of course, I'm just thinking flowers, but
We have shrubs.
Yeah, we talk about maybe pruning, different topics
Yeah.
like that. It's kind of all brought in.
so not just flowers. And has anyone ever reached out to you to get your opinion or consult about their landscaping?
Everybody I know asks me. They think I know it
been so
all just
long.
because I'm in a garden club.
Right.
So when you have your monthly meetings, you talk about all different areas of gardening, and we have down here about your conservation. Let's talk about that.
We're very environmentally conscious. We talk a lot about organic type gardening, using things that aren't going to hurt the birds or the animals or pollute our waterways. And it's really gotten kind of interesting because my whole family, we have a place at the shore and we're right on the water, and my 16-year-old son did a whole research paper on how not to pollute the sound. And so we're very, no fertilizer, and my husband's out there pulling the crabgrass out
Of the lawn?
of the lawn
Oh, really?
by hand.
You must have a small yard then.
Yeah. On the shore, you can't afford a big yard.
But what about at home?
Well, there's a lot of weeds at home.
For all of you? So
We
none of you
specialize in weeds.
Yeah.
Oh, you do?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we name them. They're our pets and our friends.
No.
And actually, you can use some of the weeds in flower arrangements.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes.
Well, I can see that the greenery.
Well, do you remember when goldenrod was a weed? Now they sell it in the florist.
Oh, really? No. I don't remember
It's
that.
ragweed, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so let's get into the Sunshine Committee. That sounds great, especially in this weather. I mean, there was one day I opened up my sliding glass door to my deck, and the sun was out, and I kept the door open, and all I did was just look up at the sun. I'm like, oh, give me some vitamin D,
Yeah. Who are you?
So I can't wait to start seeing everything come to life, and the snow go away. So Sunshine Committee, what is that all about?
The
I'll let you-
Sunshine Committee is so much fun. We just put that together this year for the first time. And we put out different topics. We've gone to the Elizabeth Park to look at the dahlias. We've gone, and then of course we always have lunch after. We've done the, at Halloween time they have cool decorations, so we've gone down there also. We've gone, one time we did the Comstock Ferry. We try and put it out to the club, whoever wants to go. They can join us. We tried to be social.
We want it to be more than just the structured meetings, because when we have our business meetings, you have a presentation and then you have the business meeting, and there's only like a half an hour when you can actually, get to know each other,
Yeah,
and
totally.
socialize.
Socialize, yeah.
So it's
We're
it's
good at
kind of meant,
talking.
it's kind of meant
we
to
like to
nurture
eat.
friendships.
Yeah. Well, that's part of a club,
Yeah.
So, do you want to talk about the projects that you do either around town? If you could highlight some of the areas where you do some of the gardening, because you said at the community center, that's right in the front.
Right.
So folks can see that. They know that it's from your club, the Home Garden Club of Wethersfield, that's your work. Any other places in town that people can look out for and they know it's from your
Well,
group?
at the Wethersfield Academy of the Arts, we have help their planting in the front of their place.
Oh, wonderful.
And we,
So you literally did all the work?
right,
And you picked the plants or do you just advise
We've
them?
donated plants from our gardens.
Oh, okay.
One of our members actually, does she work there, or is she a full-time volunteer?
I think she's a volunteer.
Okay, so we had a meeting there and we all brought a plant to donate to their,
Their gardens.
I love perennials too. I just started getting into perennials the past couple years. Gail, because you said you're
Oh,
into
perennials are great.
I love them because
they only cost you one time?
they only cost you one time. I guess that's really what it is.
And you can
And they
divide them.
spread, and they spread. Some of them do.
Yeah,
so-
some of them do, but
Which is a big part of what we do in the club too, is we share our plants.
see, I don't know how to do that. People always talk about splitting hostas. It's like, I don't
Oh.
understand. How do you do it? When do you do it? Do you split it when it's full grown? Do you split it when it's...
When
it's
they're a
done.
couple of inches tall,
Oh,
before the leaves have unfurled and
Oh, in the spring?
shaped the
Oh.
plant, you dig it up and then you cut it into, usually you'd cut it into 4 pieces. And then when you replant it, whether it's in somebody else's yard or your own, it will form, the part that you've replanted will form a nicely shaped plant.
oh.
As opposed to if the leaves were already out and you divided it, you would have half a plant.
Right.
You'd have a one-sided plant.
Oh, yeah,
You
yeah.
do it before the
would-
season.
Before it starts.
Before it starts, okay. Oh, I didn't know that.
Well,
Now,
you
some of
can't.
us-
You can do it any time of the year because I had to do it one time in the summer because they were all around a tree that was being cut down. So they said, dig up those hostas or you'll lose them. So I was forced to do that.
Right.
But you just learn that they're not going to be the prettiest this year, but next year they'll be beautiful, and they are.
There.
Which is the key to doing it
Right.
in the spring before they
Right.
unfurl their leaves.
But what about the hostas, the perennials that you put in pots? What do you do with them in the wintertime? So I'm finding that I just started getting into perennials, but I've got so many in pots, and I'm like, I can't keep putting all these in my yard. I don't need them. So what do I do with them? But I don't want to lose them.
Put them in the ground.
What do you...
You
A lot
have
of-
them in pots or you have
Yeah,
them
like
in
I-
the ground?
Well, I have a lot in the ground, but I have some in pots on my front step
Yeah.
because some of them are just so beautiful,
Oh.
and I have a hard time having flowers on my front step because it
You
gets too much
probably have
sun.
to overwinter them
Put them in the
in
garage.
a cool space, like not freezing, but if it's going to be in a pot, it can't be freezing.
Okay, so bring it inside.
So bring it in the garage in a cool space and water it sparingly.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my sister-in-law was telling me you really have to put those in the ground in the wintertime.
It's really best in the ground.
And I'm thinking, well, gee, then I got to dig them up and,
Yeah.
I only want to buy once, Anyway, I
Yeah.
love perennials. I've just gotten into them, and they're wonderful. So I wanted to just bring up about the projects that you work on outside of your monthly meetings, where you meet with maybe other schools in town and children, and what kind of programs you do with them, or any other programs that you really want to
Well,
talk
you
about.
had mentioned earlier that you have a child at Highcrest.
Yes, yeah.
When my first son was going through Highcrest, no, not my first son. Well, when my first son was going through Highcrest, we donated and planted a butterfly garden there.
That was you?
Yeah.
my God, I saw
I
those
was
whole
in on that
plans.
very, very beginning.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And then when my second son was going through, we raised butterflies in the classroom in second grade. And we let them go in the butterfly garden. And I just have to tell you this quickly. I know we're short on time, but the butterflies, we raised them from the chrysalis, from the caterpillar.
Yeah.
And they had gotten so used to the children's voices
Really?
that they actually were landing on the kids.
Wow.
It was really,
It's
really
like that butterfly
something.
garden up in
Yes.
is it
Oh,
Springfield
Magic
or
Lands.
Deerfield.
Yeah,
Deerfield.
Deerfield. Yeah.
That's
Which
where
is-
we got our
it's creepy, but
caterpillars.
yeah, it's cool.
Oh, it's nice.
Oh, it's
Absolutely.
beautiful.
Carol, I hate to break your heart, but that butterfly garden is gone. It's all grass now. There's a peace pole there, though.
You
It
know
wasn't
what?
maintained, and that's the thing.
Oh,
Maintaining your gardens is so
Well,
important.
one year as a science lesson, we brought the kids out, I don't remember what grade, into the garden and had them weed, and they were able to talk about, the different parts of the plant, which coincided with their science lesson.
Well, I suggested that the school at High Creston, but I think all of them should consider it. I mean, Michelle Obama did it. They started their own garden at the White House
Vegetable garden?
because that can so easily correlate to any science that they're working on. And
And wouldn't it be
but
nice
having
to
someone
donate those vegetables to the town, to the food pantry?
Yeah. But to have someone facilitate it and start it, I didn't know anything about gardening. I thought it was a great idea and I wanted to do it, but maybe it's a project that
It's a little
you
bit of
folks
work.
That's a lot of good work, yeah. Especially watering it over the summer and all of that. But even if it's just a small one, I think that would be great. So we really want to now talk about the upcoming event that you have on March 18th. It's the Home Garden Club of Wethersfield is sponsoring this wonderful night, and all about flowers and more, right? So if you want to talk that up and explain whether there's a cost or what it's all about, and
Okay. Well, we're going to have a floral demonstration by Bill Casano, and he's the owner of DeVars Phillips Florist and Antique in Hartford. He's a wonderful speaker and very informative and very funny. And while he's creating the floral displays, he explains how to do that so that you can go home and you can make something maybe not exactly the same, but similar. You take your ideas from him, and he'll walk us through them. And after his presentation, what we'll have is a raffle of his designs and some of the gift baskets that we have assembled in the club. And this all will take place on March 18th, which is a Wednesday, at 7 o'clock. And it's at the Newington Town Hall Auditorium, which is on 131 Cedar Street in Newington. There's plenty of parking. Even if the town hall lot is filled, you can just park across the street at the senior center.
Yes. And the library as
And
well.
the library lot. And then it's costs $10 for the tickets
per person,
per person.
person, yes.
Right.
and it's open to the public.
It's open to the public.
okay.
Absolutely.
And we ask that if you're coming, bring a non-perishable food item with you so that we can use those to give to the Wethersfield and Newington and Rocky Hill food banks.
Fantastic! It sounds like a really fun night.
Yes.
Oh, it's going to be
will be.
fabulous. This guy is very
Outgoing.
Dynamic.
dynamic, out of the
Dynamic,
box.
yeah.
I mean, these designs are
Well, he's
going
an
to be.
artist,
He
right?
is. He very much
he's
is.
definitely an
And he
artist.
will also, after, or even as he's doing demonstrations, ask if anybody has any questions. So that would be a good time that if there anybody in the audience that might have some questions pertaining to flowers or to floral arrangements. So,
Is this your first annual, or have you done
Yes.
this before?
well, this with the club, yes, this is our
the
first
first.
annual.
Oh,
Yes.
fantastic! That's so
Absolutely.
fun. What made you come up with this idea?
Well, Mary and I had been in the Newington Garden Clubs, and we had Bill as a presenter for a similar type of event, and he was so wonderful.
Yeah, he was.
We had him twice.
Yeah, he was.
Really great.
Yes, I
And so
think
we
he was.
decided we're going to have this event for our club here, and we said, we know just the person to do it, Bill Casano.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's got a great little spot in Hartford. I went to visit him.
It's Sisson Avenue.
Sisson Avenue early on, and it's very eclectic, and it's got a mixture of, the flower arranging to one side, but then he has these like fabulous antiques, and he's you said artist, but a designer type anyway, and so all these little vignettes so neatly,
So he's the real deal.
displayed.
He is, and he's been involved in garden tours in Hartford, and he's done a lot of for different events at the governor's mansion and museums and libraries and communities or in the Hartford area, and so he is quite well known. So
Local celebrity.
He's done some work for Barbara Bush,
yeah,
Really?
yes,
Wow.
and
I'm impressed. I
Yeah.
think that's awesome. He must be really good.
he is.
he is really good, and he was so
is.
proud of the handwritten thank you note he got from Barbara Bush. So he had to
Absolutely,
read
yeah.
it to
Yes, yes,
Absolutely. You better save that one.
absolutely.
So how are you advertising this, getting this out to folks so that they know?
Go ahead.
They can contact us through our email address.
Do they need tickets in advance?
Yes,
Or
that would
they
be
can't buy them at the
great.
door?
Yes, they will be available at the door.
Okay, so tickets are available
Hopefully,
at the door.
hopefully they still will be available. We're
We're more than halfway sold.
yeah. So
Oh, you're more than halfway sold.
So yeah, so
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 what
if
does that mean, halfway?
people are interested, they need to it would be easier if they contact us, I think. So this
Okay.
way,
Yeah.
but we don't know whether or not it's guaranteed that we'll have tickets available at the door. So
Oh, I see. I got it. That makes
it
sense.
depends if we're
Okay.
sold out because there's only a capacity of 290 people that are going
And
to be
you're
able
halfway
to.
there?
Yes. Yes.
Wow. Was that just friends and family?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's-
Just our.
We've got a
290 is
few
the capacity?
calls.
Yeah.
That's the capacity as far as the fire marshal is concerned.
Right.
So you have about
for the-
150
We may be
people
standing
already?
outside.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have
Exactly.
about 150 people already?
Yeah.
Wow, I'm
Yeah.
like so impressed.
Yeah.
I've been keeping
How did you
them.
get that many people?
Well, just I think through all the members
all
in the
our
club,
members are selling
we've
tickets.
reached out to all our friends and people in the community, and
It's
That's
scrolling
everything.
on your.
Yeah, okay, I was going to
Yeah.
mention that to you
TV,
after the
yeah.
show to
Yeah.
make sure you get it on the scroller.
No, it's been going. Deb took care of us a while back, and it's been scrolling. I actually see it on Saturday
Good.
mornings.
Oh, good.
It's in a couple of the newspapers: the Wethersfield Life, the Newington Life.
it
the
will
Bear
be in
Reminder
it will be in the Hartford Current as well. That's coming up.
on Friday.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
And we sent notes to all our old members, our people who have been members of our club and other clubs
They're all
in town.
welcome to come back
Right.
again.
Right.
Yes.
And other
New
garden
members.
clubs.
Yeah, other garden clubs in
and the
town.
Federation of Garden Club. Yes. So
Okay.
so that's
We handed out flyers at the flower show in Hartford.
yeah.
Wow, that's a big deal.
One of our members is an accredited flower show judge.
Oh, wow.
Of course, a fabulous flower arranger.
Yeah.
So,
So, Martha, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off because you were going to share your contact information again for folks who want to purchase tickets.
It's homegardenclub@hotmail.com. That's our email address.
And that's the best way to reach them to order tickets for the home and what is the name of your show again? I have it right in front of me. The garden show at night, 7
Right.
p.m. on March 18th. The best way to reach them is through the email, and they'll get back to you right away. It's $10, and it sounds like it's really going to be a great event.
it's going to be fabulous.
It is.
It's going to be
Absolutely.
fabulous.
So that's our show, ladies. Thank you so much.
Well, thank
That-
you.
that
This was
really
Thank you.
fun.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Thank you.
absolutely. So I want to thank everyone for joining us on another episode of Better Wethersfield, here with the ladies from the Home Garden Club of Wethersfield. And we'll see you again soon. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.